Why are there so many black people in America? Sounds like a simple question, right? But when you dig into it, there's a lot more to the story. Grab a seat because this history lesson isn't what you think. It's filled with resilience, culture, and a fight for freedom that still echoes today. Let's start from the beginning. When we think about African Americans, we often picture the communities of today, but this story actually starts with one of the darkest chapters in history: slavery. Around the early 1600s, the first African slaves were brought to the American colonies. Think about it. The first African people didn't come to America by choice. They were forcibly taken from their homes in Africa, brought across the Atlantic, and forced into brutal, unpaid labor on plantations. Now, why is this significant? Well, the impact of slavery in America lasted far longer than the years of forced labor itself. The numbers started to rise because slavery was a system designed to keep reproducing itself. Slaves weren't just workers. They were treated like property. And for generations, this system grew, leading to the large numbers of black people in America today. But here's the twist. Even though they were treated as less than human, enslaved Africans and their descendants didn't just survive, they thrived. They created vibrant cultures, music, food, and traditions that shaped America. From the birth of jazz in New Orleans to the influence of African art on American design, black people became the backbone of the country's culture. By the time slavery officially ended with the Civil War in 1865, millions of African Americans had already laid down deep roots across the country. But the end of slavery didn't mean an end to struggle. Instead, it marked the beginning of a new fight for equality. Fast forward to the 20th century. This is where the real game changer happens. The Civil Rights Movement, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X, became the defining moment for African Americans. The movement wasn't just about fighting for rights. It was about reclaiming dignity and demanding the freedom they had been denied for so long. And this is where the number of African Americans in the country really starts to explode. With the end of segregation, the right to vote, and the opening up of economic and educational opportunities, African Americans were able to thrive in ways they hadn't been able to before. But here's a mind-blowing fact. The population of black people in America is still growing, and not just because of births, but also through immigration. Starting in the 20th century, many African immigrants came to the U.S. seeking better opportunities. In fact, over the last 30 years, African immigrants have made up a growing portion of the African American population. They bring with them their own unique cultures and stories, adding even more diversity to the black experience in America. But why does this matter? It's more than just numbers. It's about understanding the deep, layered history of black Americans. Their presence here isn't just the result of slavery. It's the result of centuries of perseverance, struggle, and cultural evolution that continue to shape the nation. The story of black Americans is a testament to survival and strength, and it's an essential part of what makes America, well, America. So, the next time you ask, why are there so many black people in America? Remember, it's not just a question of numbers, it's a question of history. A history of resilience, culture, and a fight for freedom that hasn't stopped and won't stop anytime soon. The story is still unfolding, and that's something worth knowing. If you found this history as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on more deep dives into history, culture, and the untold stories that continue to shape our world today.